says Nissan D40 2012. Got to replace the evaporator, so I've started with the glove box. So the center console will have to come out. Pretty easy one for the gear shift. So that was pretty easy, just to pop this piece down, the chrome piece that pushes down, looks like the circlet there. And that's your gear shift off. That's pretty straightforward. Handbrake cover. This one was already broken, so it was easy to come off. It's just got little tabs that grab on the inside. So still the center console up the front. There's another one on the other side, and then you've got the ones at the back, there and there. So the one at that side is facing forwards, so I'll take them out. So with the gear shift knob off, this console just pops up. See a bit more in there now. Take these two screws out, divide the center console into two. Need to take this third screw out. So 3 screws out of there. Try and get off those. Your handbrake. So I want to remove this wiring loom here. It goes to your ABS module. Plug there, and then remove this because this gets in the way when you try and take the dash out. There's 4 bolts holding it in, 2 on each side. Remove this cable, just pop that out, then remove your shift cable. So in there you just got to pop it off there, take the clip out. And then both the seats will come out. I need the room mainly for the steering wheel has to drop on the ground so I can get the dash over it. So I've got the seats out, gear shift out. I'll drop this steering column next, or I'll take this panel off and then take these panels off. The little kick panels on the sides, undo all my wiring looms there. This little one has to, they just pop off somehow. They just pop off. If you don't take that off, you'll tear the carpet because you want to get down into here. This panel just pops off. Quite possible there's screws behind here. So pull your rubber back, pop this panel out. And you got a screw holding your panel in here, this one. So I've taken that panel off. Taking this kick panel off. Got the main loom running down here. this one. So just to disconnect all those plugs so that loom's free, because that loom's going to come with the whole dash. You want to take your bonnet release off, 2 10mm bolts, sit that down, and then we'll drop the steering column down. After we undo all the wiring plugs. And this is, because it's automatic, it's just your park release. So I've ended up taking the steering column completely out, because your ignition barrel sticks so far forwards into this hole here. All I did was take that screw out, and as I dropped it, I just pulled it forwards or backwards, and that allowed me to drop the steering column. Now I've had to disconnect it from here. I put a white mark on there so the splines line back up. I put the steering in a straight ahead position before I did it, and I've got this jockey strap around it, so if that turns too much, or the steering wheel turns too much, you're going to ruin your clock spring, so you don't want that to move. You want to put it back in the same spot. So on the passenger side, undo all my wires there that go into the kick panel. The kick panels sitting like that. You got little clips that have to pull outwards towards the centre, and then you've got that there. That's just a plastic retainer. So the passenger side has an additional wire. This one runs up to the back of your fuse box. There's three plugs I have to take out there. So you're going to take your panel off your A-pillar. First take your handle off. And the top's just retained in by a press clip. So that one just goes in there. And then the other one's just pulled straight up, so you just pop the top and pull it up. And you got your radio antenna. Want to pop that off, disconnect it here, because that's coming with us. So the driver's side kick panel, it's got 2 clips in this one, one down lower and the top one. Undo your little wire there, because that one has to come with the dash. So under the bonnet, got the 2 heater hoses in here. Those spring clips are going to be hard to get to. And then just under that is your aircon hoses. There's a 10mm bolt holding them in. So because of the setup, plastic setup here, to bring those hoses back, I have to undo that bolt in there that retains that steel hose, so that'll give it enough flex to bring it back. Your main mounting bolts, there's 3 in here, 2 lower, 1 higher. Same on the other side. Driver's side, you've got the 2 here, 1 here, so 3 in total. Then on the driver's side, up past your little box here, there's 1 sitting up there, so you have to take that one out. We've got these brackets here that have to come off, and it's the same on the passenger side. So I've got all the bolts out. all the main mounting bolts. That side I've already popped out a little bit. So you just got to lift it up. There's little locating tabs on here. There's another one up further. Can't see it now. But I'll just pop this out just to show you how you got to lift it up and pull it back, and it'll sort of sit there. I use welding gloves because all this steel is sharp. Then I'll just get someone else to help the other side, and it should pull backwards towards the rear, and the whole thing should come out. It appears as though all the HVAC boxes coming with it. It's got locating tabs there. Those brackets I've taken off. It just saves taking all that plastic off, and there's less wiring involved. So I did see a video showing that they've taken all the plastic off, and there's wires and stuff everywhere. So this way's a lot better. That's a complete dash out. All comes out as one piece. Now I've got to separate the HVAC box. Bolt there. Bolt there. And then there's a couple on the front. So there's a screw there. There's another bolt down in there. There's possibly something over here. There's one just in there. Just there, and it's got an alignment down. Evaporator sits in there. Separate the whole box. So all this had to come off. That one there. I've got to get the rods in the back in the same spot. So when you take the box out, you've got 1, 2, plus that clip, 3, 4, 5, 6 plugs to undo. The mounting points are from the front. You have to get a bolt out of that one. There is one here. Then there's a screw goes through one of these holes. And then the rear, you've got one here, one up the top. I think this one was from the front as well. So one from the front, you need 1, 2, 3, 4. From the rear, you've got 1, 2. And from the rear also there is little screws that go in the side here that hold the box in. So I've got the evaporator in. One trick when you put the box back on top, the top piece, down in there. So there's a blend door there. That has to line up with the hole down the bottom. Initially that didn't line up. I had to make sure that was lined up. And make sure this is outside of the other box. The little screw down in there was quite difficult to get back in. So when you're putting this one back on, you'd line all these guides up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then that just pushes in. This one here, you got to try and flex that over. I'll do that after. You can do it, put your hand in and move the blend doors to line them up. That's on. Then just flip this one around. Don't pull it too hard. And they're all working. Then your cover plate goes on. Should only go one way. So there's a flat bit down here, and there's a missing tooth there, that's got to line up. Turn it that way. So it goes there. There we go. So there's a little bit of pressure on that. Just turn it, put the screws in. And that's the box back together. Don't forget your foam pad. Heater coil went in before I put foam pad on. Bracket for that, thermistor. That cap, got all that on. This one goes on, there's just 2 screws and then 2 dowels. I'm going to start putting it back together.